Hello friends and welcome back to another tutorial. From here I want to talk about the lighting. Okay, so first of all I go to edit and preferences, and under the system I choose optics because this is faster than CUDA. Make sure if you have a graphic card, enable the optics. So currently I use a GeForce GTX 1650, which is not bad. So save it and close it. So now I press Z, or before that, we need to click here on these render properties. And instead of EV, I choose the cycle engine because this is much actually in real time and it is more detailed. So press Z and then we go to render, or simply you can click here. So wireframe, solid mode, and viewport shading and render mode. So for now this is our simple lighting, which we even see that inside our material preview. Okay, and this is the same thing, okay, which we see in actually cycle. So let's open up another viewport. Now I set this one to cycle so that I can see the result, and here I can set that one to switch between these three. Okay, so let's play around a little bit with the actually blender lights. So for now I'm currently using blender lights. Okay, when I tick these two, enable these two, it means that I'm going to create my own HDRI and my own light. So let's click and adjust. As you see, if I just set that one to this HDRI, it gives me another cool result, and play around with those. And even you can play around with the word opacity. Now you see the HDR at the background of our object. You can turn off the overlays. Okay, and even you can play around with the strength. You can turn that all the way to 2 and play around with the rotation. Okay, so that's about it. But we are going to create our own light. So therefore I click on scene word and scene light. It means that I'm going to use my own HDRI and my own light. So so let's actually add a light by pressing Shift A, and we go in the light collection, and I'm going to add a area light. So let's make a little bit room here. So it is easier to work here. So I just grab that by GZ and move that all the way up, and you start to see something here. I can make it bigger. Okay, and I click here on this light icon and maybe boost that to 1000, and now we start to see something. Okay, and even we can play around with the lights, with their colors. Okay, so this is the easiest way, and I just reset it to its original color. And even you can play around with the hex. If you have a hex code, you can paste it here, and that's it. Or the RGB, you can play with that. So yeah, let's what we have here, if I just click on word properties, now our word properties is we use a background at the surface, and its color is this is its color, and we have the strength of 1. If I just quickly you can with the help of middle mouse just move those. We can set that to shader editor, press N, and instead of object we can set that one to world. Okay, and here you see the same setting. We have the background, the color, and the strength. Okay, so I want to set the strength for here to 0, and it says that now we have nothing. and we actually start to play around just with the lights. So I click here, okay, transform pivot point, and I set that one to 3D cursor. Now all of the objects will rotate actually based on 3D cursor. So if I just look at from the top, okay, and I rotate it in, let's say in maybe x-axis, okay, I can rotate it, yeah, in maybe 45 degrees in x-axis. And then if I just press 7, I can look at from the top and press R, and it will rotate around this guy. And you can see it clearly how the light actually important. I mean the direction of our light. If we set the light from here, we can see just this part really bright, and we can't actually see the rest. But if I just set that one to here, okay, we see this part brighter and we don't see the other. I mean, we need to set our key light, which in this case, this light is going to be our key light, to somewhere that play the bigger role for us. Okay, if you might even see some lighting that the object is 3D, but the lighting actually really bad, and it looks that this is like a flat image. Okay, so the lighting is really important. So I might can move that here. Okay, and so let's add a camera as well. So I add a camera by pressing Shift A, add a camera, and if you press 0, you will move to inside your camera. Okay, and now you're looking from the camera, or simply you can just find your angle and holding down Control and 0. Control Alt and 0, and it will, at that angle that you are looking right now, it will create a shot for you. So now you can press N, and you can go down to View, and on the View lock, check the camera to view. Okay, lock the camera to view, and now you can play around with that. So if I just select my camera, we can go to format, and you can give that 1920 with 1080. In this case, I just set that one to a quad. Here we can play around with some setting or hotkeys. If I just press Ctrl B, I can just render a piece of this frame. Ctrl B, or maybe if you want, you can press Ctrl B and drag so that you can have the full screen. And then if I just click here, you can play around with the viewport display and turn it all the way up. It means that you're just going to focus on this frame. So let's clear it. I mean, explain it a little bit clear. So we add a plane, and I make it a little bit bigger. I scale that up, and then I just rotate it 45 in z-axis, 45 degrees, and I select this edge. Still, I'm in edge mode by pressing 2 and E for extrude that upward. Select this, Ctrl B, and add some loop cut or bevel to that, and shade out to smooth that. So let's move it by pressing GZ a little bit down, maybe around here should be fine. And now I can go to material properties, assign a new, I call that for ground maybe, and then I can choose maybe this reddish color, or even we can play around with these inside it. So this is good for now, okay? So that you can see something. So now I can select my camera, and we can open up the viewport display. If I just set this one to something around here, we're actually starting to see the, out of the frame. But as soon I just make it 100% or one, we are going to focus on this frame. So let's talk about the final touch in this tutorial, and that is under the render mode, render properties, and it is going to be the light path. So actually we have two kind of bouncing or light path. The bouncing is the diffuse and glossy. So if I just go a little bit closer, and I might need to rotate this light maybe around here. So we see here a little bit with the help of global illumination of our cycle render engine. So what if I just select the diffuse and glossy, select these two and press 0? You see nothing. Pinch black or pinch dark. So this is actually the global illumination which help us to see. And without the diffuse and glossy of our cycle, it actually works like Eevee. In Eevee we have the same problem. So let's turn those to maybe 2, and we start to see that a little bit more. So this is really important in our lighting. So yeah, that's about it, and we are going to continue in the next video.